Hey everyone, Alex here from Japanese Masters, and today we're going to go over Minna no Nihongo, Lesson 6, Part 4, that is Nan and Nani. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right on into this. Okay, so as you can see here, we have our Nan and our Nani. Now, both of these have the exact same meaning in English. They both mean what, and they are actually going to be written with the same kanji. All this is really going to be talking about today is nani, or the word what in Japanese, has two different ways you can pronounce it, nan or nani. And today we're just going to be talking about when you should use each pronunciation. Okay, let's go ahead and break this down a little bit. So, nan. When do we use nan? Well, like I said before, it's going to be written with this kanji right here, the nan kanji. But it's generally going to be used before ta, da, or na sounds. And by that, I don't mean the literal hiragana ta or the literal hiragana da or na. What I mean is all the sounds that follow in that row. So ta, te, to, any of those. Anything that has that t sound at the beginning. Same thing with da. Anything that has that d sound at the beginning, like da, de, stuff like that. And then same thing with the na. Anything that has that na sound. So like na, ne, nu, anything like that. So it's any of these sounds in the row. So it's going to be the first part of that sound, the ta, the da, and the na sound. And the other time you're going to use nan is when you're using a counter, like if you want to say nan mai, nan dai, nan sai. If you haven't already, you will soon learn that there are a whole bunch of different ways to count in Japanese, depending on what you're counting. So any of those different counters, you're going to be using nan before the counter word. Okay, then next we have nani. And this, like I said, is written the same way. They're the exact same word. It's just a difference in pronunciation. And this one is going to be used in all other situations. So if it's not a counter and it doesn't start with a t, d, or n sound, then it is going to be nani. However, there is a little bit of a tricky area, and that's with the word nande. Nande can be used to mean both why and how. Nande is a more colloquial version of naze, and it's also the word nani, or this kanji right here, plus the particle de. When it's used as the colloquial form of naze, then it's meaning why. However, when it's used as the nani or nan plus de, then it means how. So the reason that this causes confusion is because look at these two sentences. You have nande Tokyo e ikimashita ka and nande Tokyo e ikimashita ka. They're the exact same sentence, have the exact same pronunciation. However, the first one basically means why are you going to Tokyo, and the second one means by what means are you going to Tokyo. So by car, by Shinkansen, something like that. So the confusing part comes is how do you tell the difference between whether it's why are you going to Tokyo or by what means are you going to Tokyo? Well, this problem has actually come up a lot in Japanese, and it's the reason that in this one instance, it is okay to use nani de Tokyo e ikimashita to really sell the by what means. So if you want to use the how with nande, it is okay to say nani de, even though it doesn't match the rule up here, where if it has the da sound, it becomes nan. You see there's a da sound right there, so this should be nan, but in this one instance, it's okay to write it as nani. Also, if you see it written, generally nande, the word for why, is written without the kanji, because it in itself is kind of a word. So you'll see this written without kanji, and you'll see these written with kanji normally. So if you see it in writing, that's how you're generally going to tell whether it's how or why. But if you're speaking it, then it's okay to say nani de if you want to ask someone how they're going somewhere or by what means they're going somewhere. Okay, let's go ahead and go through a couple of example sentences. So the first one is, how many pieces of paper are there? That would be, nanmai kami ga arimasu ka? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go over here is our nanmai. So I was talking before that if it's a counter, you're going to use nan, not nani. And as you can see here, we have a counter, and that is nan. Now, based off our rules, remember, if it's ta, da, or na, it would be nan, but otherwise, it would be nani. If you see, this is not ta, da, or na. But it is a counter, so it's nan and not nani. And then we have kami, which just means paper, and then ga arimasu means to exist, and we're saying how many. So how many pieces of paper exist, basically. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next example. The next one is, how did you get to school? Nani de gakko e ikimashita ka? Now, this is the one where we were talking about how it's okay to use nani de, even though this is a da sound, if you're asking how. So in this sentence, the person is asking, how did they get to school? If you'd put nande here, it could be interpreted as, why did you come, or why did you go to school, or something like that. So this will remove any of the confusion by just putting that nani de. And like I said before, it will generally be written with the kanji. And then we have gakko here, which just means school. And then the a particle, which means in the direction of or towards. We've talked about this a little bit before. In this situation, you could use ni or a. Both of them work perfectly fine. And then we have our ikimashita, which means went. And then, of course, our question marking particle at the end. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the final example sentence. Now, the final example sentence is actually, I just left it from the last lesson because it really works here. What are you doing? Nani o yatteru no? Now, the reason that I left this here is because, like I said, this one is used in all other situations. So, we have to ask ourselves, is this o? Does that have a ta, a da, or a na sound before it? Or at the beginning of the o? No, it does not. And is there a counter that's being attached to this nani? No, there is not. So in that case, we are going to use nani, not nan. So in this case, we just have nani o yatteru no. It is not nan o yatteru no. Okay, so that is going to be the end of today's lesson. It's a pretty straightforward lesson. Basically, these rules are all you need to know. Does the nani come before a ta, a da, or not? Or is it a counter? If it's so, then it's non. Other situations, nani. The only exception is if you really want to make sure that someone knows that you're talking about by what means are you going somewhere or doing something, then you want to use nani de, not nan de. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. Until next time, guys, keep studying Japanese. All right, everyone, see ya.